Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is Guide for Round 3 of the Manufacturer Series Exhibition Season 2. Let's get this started. Your first braking point is after the 100 meter mark. Brake hard for a short moment. Slowly ease off of the brakes. Nice and careful with the throttle. Do not touch the sand. Ease off of the throttle as you make this right turn. Wait until you're pointing towards the hills before you can start to fully accelerate. You want to go for a light apex at the very end of the turn. Now bring yourself to the right, brake just before you reach the 50 meter mark. Brake hard for a short moment, carefully ease off of the brakes so the car doesn't start to step out on you too much. Just try to be nice and smooth through this left turn, nice and easy on the throttle. Then do some throttle control, a little bit of braking if necessary. You want to try to go for a late apex so you can open up a little bit more if you need to. Brake before the curb on the right ends, and if your car can tolerate it, get onto the sand. Brake hard for a short moment, quickly ease off the brakes, nice and patient with the throttle so you don't end up in the sand. Then bring yourself to the left and you can just go flat out through here and go flat out through this upcoming right turn. And as this right turn ends, bring yourself to the left side of the track. Look for the 150 meter mark as that is your braking point. So brake just before you pass it. Use some braking power, don't use all of it. You want the car to make it through this turn. Then slowly start to apply a throttle. Look for the apex, and once you know you're about to hit it, that is when you can start to fully accelerate and you should be good to go. But that is all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and talk about the strategies. So for the qualifying strategies or the qualifying session, you only have 5 minutes to try to get a good lap time. Because the tire wear rate is a times 10, you will need to do the jump out and jump back in strategy. I'll talk a bit more about that later on in this section, but as you do your out lap, you want to be a little easy on your tires, once again because the tire wear rate is high, so you just want to be nice and careful. And do try to be a little fast as well. And yeah, so you just want to try to make sure that your tires are good in their best condition so that you can have the maximum grip possible as you do your qualifying lap. So once you finish your first qualifying lap, or if you mess up along the way and still have time, this is where the jump out and jump back in strategy starts to come in. So once you complete the lap or you mess up, you press options, exit, and in the lobbies you press enter course, or during the actual race day itself you press qualifying. This will put you back at the pit box, so all you have to do now is just do an out lap and then you do another qualifying lap shortly afterwards. This basically cuts out the whole in-lap process. This cuts out the whole pit stop sequence, the animation sequence, so it'll save you quite a bit of time. So by doing this, you will have 2 chances to try to get a good qualifying time, but you will have the tire life needed to try to get the best time possible. So once again, you only have 2 chances, you better make them count. And going on over to the race strategies, fuel is a times 3, which is not going to present an issue at all for this race. But once again, the tire rate is a times 10, so it's going to be a major problem. Don't forget that both the racing medium and hard tires are required for this race, so you need to use both racing tire compounds so you don't get a 1 minute penalty that gets applied after the race ends. One way to try to combat this tire wear is to adjust your brake balance settings. So for example, with the Dodge Viper, I have it set to 4 to the rear, and also you can adjust this in the car settings or in the middle of the race by adjusting the multi-function display with the D-pad on the controller. But going back to this, so I have the brake balance at 4 to the rear on the Dodge Viper because the front tires wear out faster. So to try to combat that, I want to make the rear tires work a little bit harder than the front tires, especially when it comes to braking. So this way, I can make the front tires last a little bit longer before they start to really get worn out. And that's the thing here, the tires will get worn out pretty fast. Depending on your driving style and the car that you are using, your racing medium tires will last 6 to 8 laps. So they're not going to last that long. So because of that, because we are doing 18 laps here, and because we have a short pit loss, it's going to be a good idea to go with the 2-stop strategy. So with the 2-stop strategy, you can do 6 medium, 6 medium, 6 hard, 7 medium, 7 medium, 4 hard, or 8 medium, 8 medium, 2 hard. Again, this will be dependent on how you and your car treat your tires. So things might end up going better than expected, and you might be able to stay out on a longer medium stint, or things might end up going south and you may have to pit early for your next medium stint or even a hard stint. Either way, just try to do your best to take care of your tires, because if you don't take care of your tires, then your medium stints are not going to last that long. So in the last clip, I was able to make the racing medium tires last 8 laps, so I was basically under the best case scenario. So I was able to easily do 8 medium, 2 hard. In this case, with this clip, I basically wore out my tires pretty fast, and I stood out in this stint for a little too long. I should have done 6 medium, 6 medium, 6 hard, but I decided to stay out for a bit longer, and that was the wrong decision to make, or I made. So yeah, so you really need to keep an eye on your tires and just keep an eye on how your car is doing. If you notice your car is starting to struggle a lot and you're starting to lose out time, then it's time to pit, it's time to get new tires. So I've been talking about the 2-stop quite a bit because this is the go-to strategy. How does the 3-stop and the 1-stop fare out? Let's quickly talk about the 3-stop. So the 3-stop is going to be for those who have really high tire wear. So for example, if you're in a 4-wheel drive car or in a front-wheel drive car, this is going to be a potential strategy to use. So this is where you do 6 medium, 6 medium, 5 medium, and then 1 hard lap. And with the short pit loss time, it is possible to pull this off. You just have to push a little bit harder because of the additional pit stop time, so that might end up putting you at a bit of a disadvantage when you do your 3rd pit stop. And also, before I go on, if you are starting in the back, you can start on the harder tires. So let's say you're starting from 10th and back, you can start on the racing hard tires to get that tire requirement out of the way, and then you can do the rest of your race on the racing medium tires. And this will apply to all 3 strategies, whether it's the 1-stop, 2-stop, 3-stop. If you're starting in the middle or in the back, get the slower tire compound out of the way. That way you spend the rest of the race on the faster tire compounds. But anyways, going back to the 3-stop, so the 3-stop, it is possible to do, but it's just going to be just a tad bit slower, and this strategy is more for those who have really bad tire wear. I would say to just do 6 medium, 6 medium, 6 hard, so go with the 2-stop. But if in any case this is not possible for you to do, then you have the 3-stop available to use. And last but not least, let's take a quick look at the 1-stop. On paper, it is possible to do, which I'm trying it out in this clip right here. But I think this strategy has too much risk for too little reward or even no reward. So you basically need to have god tier tire saving levels, because you want to try to make the racing medium tires last as long as possible. So in this case, I made them last 8 laps. But then you have to do the rest of the race on the racing hard tires, which is going to put you at a big disadvantage. With the high tire wear, and if you end up in any battles or any shenanigans, that's going to make the tire wear even worse on the racing hard tires, and you're just going to be a sitting duck for the last part of the race. So is the 1-stop viable? I would say honestly no. Too much risk for too little reward. So at the end of the day, which strategy should you go with? I say try to go for the 2-stop strategy. The worst case scenario, and I say that with quotation marks, is 6 medium, 6 medium, 6 hard. Medium case is 7 medium, 7 medium, 4 hard. And best case scenario is 8 medium, 8 medium, 2 hard. Once again, this will come down to your own driving style and your car, so every little action is going to matter, especially in a high tire wear race like this. So just try to drive as cleanly as possible, as smoothly as possible. Adjust your brake balance to the values you need to try to make your tires last as long as possible. And if for any reason you can't make the tires last that long, and if you're not good with the racing hard tires, then the 3-stop is available where you do 6 medium, 6 medium, 5 medium, and then 1 hard. Fuel is not an issue, and if you are starting in the middle or in the back, start on the racing hard tires so you can get that out of the way, and then spend the rest of the race on the racing medium tires. But that is all from me. Hopefully this guide helps you out. If it does, you can press the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I have a Patreon, which you can check out in the description down below. So that's all from me. I'm going to sign off now. So this is Mr. CA trying to do the daily race guides, and I'll see you in the next video.